This is Kodacolor 100, shot and processed at box speed. This is Kodacolor 200, shot at 400, but processed at box speed. And this is Kodacolor 100, shot at 400, processed at 200, aka pushed one stop. But let's just start from the beginning. I don't know what I'm gonna try to focus on today. Just staying in the moment, I suppose. Stay curious, stay naive, and just stay wrapped up in the moment. And I'm not gonna let my fears interrupt my desires. And I'm just going to, just do my thing. Just explore like a curious cat. And as long as you stay open and stay humble, I think everything will work out in terms of what the universe delivers or offers. So, let's just leave it at that. The new Kodacolor 200 is a medium-speed, daylight-balanced color negative film. It has fine grain, saturated colors, high sharpness, a wide exposure latitude, and consistent color reproduction, making it suitable for general picture-taking situations. Well, it's great for daily snaps. It features a wide exposure latitude from 2 stops under exposure to 3 stops over exposure. And you know what's crazy about that? When I was shooting this 200 roll, I forgot to change the Kex meter to 200, and I left it on 400 because I'm normally shooting the black and white, which for me is the Kentmere 400. And I never thought to change the meter, and I shot this whole roll at 400. I mean, other than this gnarly one, like even this indoor one, look at this lady's face. She's so pissed, dude. Craft beer spoken here, right? Like that sign is like a neon, beautiful sign. This place is brand new in my neighborhood. And it did some gnarly things to that, but I think it was because I had to bring up the exposure because I do all my own scans with Negative Lab Pro if you're new here. And so maybe I gnarled that out in Negative Lab Pro. I don't know what happened there. Other than that scenario, I mean, it held up well for shooting it at 400. And by the time I realized it, I called the lab and they were like, oh, we already started processing it. I'm like, oh, it's all good then, dude. But I mean, you think about this dude was in the shade. And I remember that I shot this at like a 5.6 or something at like 2/50th of a second or so. I remember like it was really gnarly. I meant to open up the shutter. I'm going the same path he is, right? So we're moving at the same time. So I was like, yeah, 250 it. So it is true, man. The exposure latitude of this Kodacolor is amazing. Like all of this was basically underexposed to full stop, like all of it. Like even look at this old boy with his hat on here. I mean, it retained that pretty well. I mean, obviously it's out of focus. We're out here zone focusing like a bunch of nerds, but I mean, it held up well. I mean, this kid in the window here. I mean, that is something to say for. There's not too many color films that I've played with that you can shoot like that. I mean, even on the other side, now obviously we know that film is going to respond better to the over. The only weird thing is guys, look at these lines. Is this because of the lab or what's going on with these lines? Do you see these lines? They're like shoom, shoom, shoom. That's the processing, isn't it? The lab did something weird there, or what are those lines? Do you guys see that? Not sure what all of that is. I'm not savvy enough to know what that is. Maybe someone can let me know in the comments. But yeah, man, this film is so good. Now, as for the third roll, which was Kodacolor 100, I shot these back to back, so I did forget to change the meter on this one as well. However, I caught this one in time at the lab, but I didn't want to push it 2 full stops because I was really worried about what it would do to the contrast in the colors. So I only pushed it 1 stop, and honestly, I don't even think it needed that. So the dynamic range of this stuff seems to be really good in my ignorant opinion, but I guess you guys can let me know down in the comments what you think about that. I mean, I can at least notice the difference that just 1 stop did to the overall raw colors and definitely the contrast as well. But again, these are just casual neighborhood stroll happy snaps. I mean, look at this stuff. You know, we're not creating the next piece of art, but I think that knowing the flexibility of this film, you know, you can trust it. If it gets underexposed a couple stops, I think it's going to be okay. I mean, this stuff, some of it, the pushing one stop may have done it more damage than good, but it kept the colors well. I was really impressed. And let's jump over to the Dodger stuff, which was recycled from the last video. I don't really know too much about Kodacolor, other than what some folks have told me, that apparently it is the same emulsion as ColorPlus. And you know what? I can kind of see that when I think about these two photos. So this one was ColorPlus, and then this one was Kodacolor 200. And they were shot different times. Obviously, it's not the same subject. And they're nearly a year apart, maybe even. But they were shot with the same lens, the Leica 40mm Summicron, similar times of day. You know, at least it looks like the same season, similar exposure, probably the exact f-stop, to be honest, with that lens. And that was the first thing that popped in my mind, that picture specifically, when someone told me that it was the same emulsion as ColorPlus. However, then if I look at some of these shots that I've recently taken with the 100 at the Dodgers parade, which I've shown in the past, but then the new batch is this Kodacolor 200, which was just a casual stroll around town. Like, I don't know why this is interesting, weird documentary style to me, but it is just happens to be what I enjoy to do. Just kind of literally document the day to day. The Kodacolor is nice. Honestly, it kind of inspired me to start shooting color film again, because normally when I shoot film, you know, I normally just do black and white. And that's for a lot of reasons. I have a red-green color blind, so I have a pretty wicked hue deficiency. And when you talk about the red-green channels, that is specifically the skin tone. So I don't really mess with the colors at all. When I do anything with color film, I'm literally just adjusting the exposure and the contrast. One of the main reasons for that is because Lightroom does not have a vector scope in it. And I refuse to touch color without a vector scope. And so it just is what it is. I don't know why Lightroom doesn't have a vector scope, but it just doesn't. Regardless though, the Kodacolor is so nice to me. Now again, I do have a weird eyeball, you know, so maybe it's not as nice as I think it is, or as nice as it looks to me, but I'm like, wow, this stuff looks good. Because normally if I choose to shoot color, I will just rather shoot digital, right, to be honest. But this stuff is kind of interesting to me. Now here's the thing, a lot of it has to do with cost too. If I was a, you know, significantly wealthy human being, my everyday carry film would be this right here. And I would say the 200 for me specifically, because I like to have a little bit more exposure levels to play with, because honestly, it was the Kodacolor 100 that I was scared to shoot with, specifically because I did take it down there to the Dodgers parade, and that made me nervous, but it was super early, like 10 to noon when all of these shots were taken, so I didn't feel that bad about it, because I'm like, oh, come on, it's 100, you know, it's really bright out here. But normally, I don't shoot that early. Normally, a 100 ASA would frighten me, but on that particular day it didn't, and it didn't matter anyways, because the stuff turned out great. I loved some of these shots in here from the Dodgers parade are some of my favorite film photos I've taken in terms of color film. The 200 was just a really random, boring weekday around the neighborhood. It was also like, I normally don't shoot on a 40 mil if I think I'm gonna try to do real street, just because I get a little nervous with that tighter lens, but I've been forcing myself to use it more than the 28 because I think I do have a narrower field of view of my natural mind's eye anyways. I tend to kind of hone in on things where sometimes the 28 is either too wide or it's like including too much of what I really wanted people to pay attention to. I don't know. It's hit or miss, because I was using the 28 out there for the Dodgers parade, and some of the stuff, like, I would say, yeah, that was pretty dang close. And then other times it was like, this is a little too wide. Granted, if there's a lot of people on the streets, I'm going to have a 28 regardless, right? It's just the way it is, how I like to work. And when I know it's going to be a kind of more casual, kind of, dare I say, boring day, then I'll just leave the 40 on. This was kind of different, right? Because this is now, we get to see the Kodacolor, even though it is the 200 versus the 100, but we do get to see how the 200 was used in more of a golden hour situation, you know? Quite interesting to my eye, the way it looks compared to any time before noon. Like this, again, this had to have been the time frame of like 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So very different lighting conditions for sure. So that was kind of cool to see the differences of it. When you see it in that golden hour light, that's when it really reminds me of the ColorPlus. And I don't think the price is that crazy, right? Like right now, the 100 is only $10 a roll. The 200 is, yeah, they're both only $10 a roll. I mean, in my experience of film prices here in LA, that is pretty dang cheap. See, I don't follow color film too much. Oh, well, first of all, that's interesting. ColorPlus 200 is out of stock now. How interesting, but that's freestyle. I feel like freestyle stuff is always out of stock. It's funny because people that haven't heard of the Kodacolor yet, and when I tell them about it, they go, "Well, are you talking about Kodachrome?" You know, if I was going to start bulk rolling, maybe if I was going to start bulk rolling color film, that'd be crazy. Then I have two bulk rolls. This is my black and white bulk roll. This is my color bulk roll. That would be something I would do though. But I think maybe this would be the one, because look at the inside of this restaurant and stuff. I don't know. It is really cool to see with 200 that was rated at 400. So underexposed by a full stop here, you know? Held up really, really well. So that was impressive to see. I know the majority of this roll is garbage, but I just need to go shoot something. You know what I mean? To see what it's just fun for me to do. This for me is like a weird hobby where I think like when most guys get my age, they're like, I think I'm going to pick up golf or something. Whereas with me, you know, a few years back, I was like, I think I'm going to start picking up street photography and not a beautiful kind of street photography either. Just like casual old man street photography. and I don't know. So it's like what I chose instead of golf, you know, what can I say? But I'm loving this stuff, you know? This is the next one that we're going to look at, because this was exciting to me. Opticolor, and then Freestyle got it in. So we got a little roll of that. Currently what I'm shooting on is this weird stuff called Santa Color. So stay tuned for that one. And let me know what film I should shoot on. I want to know, because I'm like, man, it's fun for me now. You know, for the longest time I was, you know, I really only cared when it came to color film. I was like, yeah, Cine Still 800T, Cine Still 450D, Portra 400, Portra 800, right? That's all. And then like, I only shot the ColorPlus because shout out to Flores, Douglas Flores, Nacho. He told me, he said, you should, you know, it was like him and he made a reel about it. Him and a bunch of his friends, like everyone was saying ColorPlus is their favorite. That's a combo of favorite and savior. It's my favorite. They were all saying ColorPlus, right? And I was like, ooh, I'll try that out. Otherwise, you know, normally I'm just not, again, like normally if I was going to do color, I would just prefer to do digital. But now the damn Kodacolor, it kind of bit me with that bug again. So there's some weird new color films. Again, be on the lookout for the Santa Color. Drop it like it's hot down in the comments. Let me know what film stock to shoot on. And let me know what you think of these happy street snaps.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
What do you mean? You tell me.
Oh, dude, you even have a digital display. But it's like one of those classic cameras, right?
Yeah.
But they like revamped it?
Yeah, it's from the 70s.
Oh, dude.
No, it's the real deal, dude. This, yeah. No.
And if you have the proper luck and the holy endurance, the gods just might deliver.